Welcome to the Deadlifts and Pizza podcast, where we discuss no BS fitness and nutrition.
We're your hosts. I'm Laura.
And I'm Jamie.
Let's get into it.
How are you?
Good. How are you? How are you feeling? Feeling better?
Good. Yeah, mostly.
Your voice sounds better.
Pretty sure I had bronchitis, so I might be a little scratchy still. Sitting here sipping chicken broth. But I broke down and went to the doctor yesterday, and I guess I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
Because I got medicine, and I think it's helping.
That's good.
Yeah.
I still get...
ChatGPT.
Go ahead.
ChatGPT was funny because I had it diagnose me and all that stuff. And like, I trust it more than I trust like most doctors or whatever. And it told me that like, I should consider going to the doctor. Cause it was like, if it turns into an infection, that would be really bad. And, it sounds like it's bronchitis. And here's some things that like a doctor could do, like listen to your chest to rule out pneumonia, like blah, blah, blah. But I was kind of like, okay, well, I feel, but it'll probably get better on its own. Okay, that's the only thing I need to know. But then my husband was like, could you please just go to the doctor? Like you could just like get it, whatever. And I was like, no, I'm not going to go. So then I went back to ChatGPT. I was like, hey, so my husband thinks I should go to the doctor. I really don't want to. I feel like, blah, blah, blah. And it was like, I hear you, but I agree with your husband on this one. I think that it would be really good to go and get checked out. And I was like, fine.
I think we need to have a conversation because I feel like
about what? What did I do?
ChatGPT is like going to ruin your critical thinking skills, and you're listening to what ChatGPT is telling you to do instead of like your own intuition.
Yeah, well, it's funny because it's funny because my daughter has been turned on to it now, not because of me. I guess her cousin has it on her phone, and she was showing my daughter how it helped her solve like an argument with a friend. She was able to like verbalize what she wanted to be able to say. And Camila was like, "Can I get it on my phone?" And my husband and I were like, "No, but we don't know why yet." Because in my mind, I was like, it's not a big deal, right? Like it's fine. Why not? But in my mind, I knew I needed to think about it more. I was like, there's gotta be some downside. I gotta really think about it. And that was one of the things is like, you become over reliant on it. Like every single thing you want to ask the thing, and it takes the work. And like you said, the critical thinking away from yourself.
I've heard people say that like when kids go to college, the ones that have been using it, it's affected them. Like they don't know how to think on their own. And the ones that are actually doing the best are the ones that don't use it, because it like ruins your critical thinking skills if you have this thing that's telling you what to do all the time.
Yeah. So I have her, she's used it a couple times. There's been a couple actual scenarios with friends, or it was something that we've gone onto the computer and like asked it and saw what it said. But I definitely don't want it on her phone, because I realize that. And I'm doing that. I'm like becoming not reliant on it. I don't use it for everything. I don't feel like I'm relying on it, but there's certain things where I'll ask it, like with medical stuff. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Like I'm using it all the time. For work, not necessarily, because I don't like necessarily like some of the things that it says, or I don't necessarily trust it all the time. But finances and stuff like that, I'm asking it all kinds of questions on that. And
I am so like, I am so opinionated, and I have my, like, I don't listen to other people and what they tell me to do. It's just part of my personality. Like I'm not the ask for advice person. Like I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I am.
Yeah.
I'm like going to ask.
And I don't think either one is better than the other. It's just different personality traits.
Yeah, that's interesting. All right, what you got for me today?
Okay. I still get nervous before I podcast. It's weird. Like I'm like giving a presentation, I'm going to talk about me a lot today, because that's
we should just turn this off now.
Like, I think people tune into this podcast because I'm just so interesting and they want to hear more about me, like hear about how elite I am and everything. So
they probably want to see that video of you jumping.
Yeah. I I sent Jamie a video of me touching my ceiling and then took a screenshot of me at the top. It looks like I'm floating. It looks like I'm like hanging. It doesn't look real because I can jump so high.
You for real can. You're joking, but it is kind of weird how high you can jump. And this is something that we've already talked about. Laura literally like tested her high jump, like using a piece of tape and jumping up against the wall. And you're legit in the elite category for how high you can jump. And you don't even like train it. You just have, and your deadlift is unnaturally strong for your size. And like, she's just got these genetic things that make her like legit semi-elite, but I don't like to use that word because I don't want to build up her ego. But it is kind of weird. And I sent you a video back because I was like, I can jump too. But when you watch it, you made the comment and it made me LOL that it looks like I'm wearing ankle weights because it's like, it's just like gravity just pulls me back down to the ground.
You like barely. Where I look
that
like
was
I'm
me
like
jumping
flying.
really high. Yeah.
Really? That was you legitimately jumping?
I legitimately jumped.
That's funny. That's funny.
And now I want to try it again on video with tape.
Yeah.
And I want to take, you know what I want to do is I want to take a video where you can see my feet because the video I sent you, you couldn't see my feet.
Yeah.
And then I want to take a screenshot at the highest point like you did because I was just looking at the space in between your feet and the ground. And I was like, that's a lot of space.
It's a lot of space. It's like almost half of me.
Yeah, I was less impressed with the fact that you were like legit touching the ceiling and more like there's a lot of space under her feet. And I would like to just anecdotally, you know, look, can't measure it necessarily. Yeah. Well, you can kind of, but just want to look at it. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that.
It reminds me. So I want to read this on the podcast because I think it's funny. But you know that reel that I sent you of the woman who I don't even know who she was. I don't know if she was I'm pretty sure she's a professional athlete and she looks familiar, but I don't know who she is. She might play soccer or something. Do you remember
what was the reel
I sent you? I'll read it and you'll know what I'm talking about. But at first when she was because I took screenshots of it, so it's not going to be the whole thing, but just pieces of it because it was a pretty long reel. But she, when she first started talking, I thought it was satire. And then she kept going.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, she really thinks she's better than everyone.
Oh, yeah. It was the reel where she was just talking about how great she is. And my favorite line from that was, the air is thinner up here. Like, it's so hard being up here and breathing this thin air.
My favorite line was something about like, well, I'll get to it. But before I read this, there is swearing in it. And I'm going to say the swear words just if you have children. But
wait, why are we reading it? What are we going to do? We're going to
because I'm going to read it. Like, yeah, I just think it's funny, and I think people should hear it. Okay. Because I think this is what we sound like when we're talking about ourselves and how elite we are.
Yeah, at first. But the thing is, and this is why we thought it was satire, because she starts being like, oh, the air is thinner up here. It's hard being, you know, so much better than everybody else. And you're like, haha, okay. But then she keeps, and then you realize she's being serious. We instantly start laughing and like go, you know, back talking it a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. But you don't think this would be funny to read? I think
no, go for it. I'm just, okay. I'm pre-defending myself.
Okay. I think I'm worse than you. I can jump so high. I can run so fast. I'm so strong. Like
you're like a 5-year-old who gets brand new shoes and is like, look what I can do.
Exactly. I'm going to laugh through this whole thing. I'm going to try to do it without laughing.
Go for it.
I only know what it's like to live at the top, and the air is very thin. And I choose to be exceptional every single day. It's literally a choice. I wake up and I'm like, I don't know what it's like to choose to be average. That's my favorite line because that sounds like something I would say.
I don't know what it's like. You can start saying it now.
Yeah. I don't fuck with average people. They make me uncomfortable. I don't like to be in the same rooms, in the same spaces. I don't understand in how to be and be amongst people who are just like, you know what? I'm fucking good.
That's
Imagine,
ridiculous.
like, okay, you may be exceptional at some things, but I don't think humility and self-awareness are some of those things.
There's no way she has very many friends.
No.
You
I'm
can't
not
have
an
true
exceptional friend
friends.
either. No.
Yeah.
And the thing is, everybody's exceptional at different things. You know, you don't know people. Like, just because they look average to you doesn't mean that they're not exceptional at something.
That's something I was going to say is who decides what average means? Is this just
Yeah.
you and your own definition?
Yeah.
And you're talking
like,
about being exceptional at what? Are you literally exceptional at every single thing that you do?
from that
I
clip, I'm
doubt
going to
it.
say no.
Right? Like, who's deciding what
yeah.
that means?
Like, my husband is an average dude, right? If people met him, they would think he's like average. I think he's exceptional, but other people would probably say, you know, he's average.
Aw.
But but our 10-year anniversary is this weekend.
Aw.
Yeah, but he is exceptional at what he does at work. So he's a self-employed general contractor. So he does remodels. He built me this whole shed, like this. He built for me. He's very, very good at what he does. I would say he's exceptional at that. So, but if you met him, you wouldn't be like, oh, you know, you wouldn't even know that. Like, how do you know that these people aren't exceptional at something?
Yeah. And that's even more like full of herself because it's all based on her definition and what she deems as exceptional or not,
Yeah.
and in what category.
Yeah, like you could be an exceptional mom or exceptional wife, or, you know, it might then be, you wouldn't even, yeah. So
I bet you if she was a wife or a parent, which I doubt she's either one of those things,
Yeah.
she would be shit at it.
I bet you she was.
I'm just saying.
But I thought that was funny because it reminds me of the way I talk about myself, but like when I'm joking, because I don't really believe I'm better than anybody.
Now, was this person, I didn't delve into her account. Was she fitness? Is she a business person? Like, what is her thing?
The person doing the interview?
No,
Or
the
person
woman talking about how great she was.
I think she's a professional athlete. Like I said, I think she might be a soccer player. And then I read like comments about it, and I think that might be what she is. But she was also talking about business, so she might be trying to get into that because she was saying that she needs to. So because the other girl was like, so you don't even, yeah, because you think that they're gonna rub off on you like the average people, and so like not being in the same rooms with them, blah blah blah. And she's like, yeah, and she's like, but I do want to be in the same rooms as them because I need to understand them, and because if you have a business, you need to understand these people, and I need to try to learn how to get the greatness out of them.
Those people are not going to want to work with you. Oh, wait, let me backtrack a little bit. These are going to be my clients, hopefully.
Right. Yeah, people. I love the internet. It's
I legit love the internet. I think yeah.
No, I really do, because I wouldn't know who she was. Then I get to see funny shit like that. That makes my day.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
All right, now back to me and me talking about me. I want to
having a little trouble. Are you having trouble breathing over there?
I am.
That thin air up there at the
thin air
very
because
tippy
I'm
top.
so exceptional.
The tippy top of your exceptionability mountain.
It's funny because I'm talking about like cardio and how much better I'm getting at it, and I'm like out of breath. But
from talking,
you know why? Because I get nervous. Because I'm not exceptional at that. So I have a treadmill story. Me on the treadmill. Remember, I had said I had a funny story to tell.
Oh yeah,
but it's funny in my brain. I don't know if it's going to translate because you weren't there, you didn't see it. But if you were there, you probably would have laughed. And I also think it's funny because I find like chaos and confusion funny. So when people are like confused and there's lots of chaos, that's what was going on in my brain when it was happening. So for me, it was hilarious, but it might not translate. But I still think it's worthy to tell.
All right, let's find out if I laugh.
Okay. So Sunday, it was like the middle of the day, and I hadn't gotten many steps yet. So I decided to take a walk on the treadmill, which I haven't done in a while. And as I was walking, I was feeling really good, and I was kind of getting bored, and I kind of had the urge to do some sprint intervals. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying I don't do that very often because I don't like to on the treadmill. It's so distracting with you coughing over there.
Sorry, I've got it muted.
I know, it's just your faces. It's just funny.
There's so much junk in my
no, it's okay.
chest.
I understand. It's not you, it's me. I don't generally like to do that because, and I'm pretty sure I've mentioned this before on the podcast, but I don't think I went into details on it, but I have a gene mutation, I believe, that my children have, right? Both of them have it, and it's very rare. And for even one of them to have it, one of Wayne or I had to have had it. And the conditions that are possible with this gene mutation, Wayne has none of them. And I have only one of them, which is funny because my kids have ones that are totally different than me. So my daughter, in her autism, my son in his ADHD, and then they both have, epilepsy. And I don't have any of that. Maybe. I mean, the ADHD is debatable. There might be a possibility, but it's not like his, But I do have something called episodic ataxia, which is like these episodes of dizziness and you get unbalanced and vertigo and a lot of different things. But that's like when I was saying, like when I hang from the bar and the room like kind of flips around when I'm up there and I get really dizzy.
You were in a basketball game and you just totally like ate it.
Yeah. When I was running down the court, I stole the ball, and then the court, like the ground was moving up and down. So it was like every time I stepped, it wasn't where it was supposed to be.
But it wasn't. But it was in your brain.
It was in my brain. It was like my body, like my proprioception was off. And it was weird because it almost felt like I couldn't control my legs. I don't know how to explain it. It was a very weird feeling. I don't like it. It makes me lose complete control of my body. And I hate it. And it usually happens when I'm exerting myself. So running on the treadmill makes me really scared.
Well, isn't fibromyalgia connected to that too, or no?
No.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, the fibro, that's the other reason I don't usually do any kind of cardio is because usually the next day I feel crappy. So that may be what you're thinking of. Luckily, this doesn't happen when I'm working out, like weightlifting, unless I'm doing something for a lot of reps. It could happen, but it's usually not like the full on thing. I might just start getting a little lightheaded and dizzy. But anyway, I don't like to do it because I'll feel very unstable, I just don't feel secure, right? So it scares me. But today I felt like, adventuring out. I felt like I'm ready for it today, right? So
this was today?
No, this day that I did this.
Got it.
This Sunday. Don't
start switching tenses on me because I'm going to get hella confused.
I'm sorry. I'm just saying, like, in this moment today,
yes.
Like, that was my thoughts. So I started doing sprint intervals. And I also have to say that the garage is a mess because my husband is messy, right? So just getting to the treadmill, I have to move a bunch of shit out of the way, and it's like surrounded. There's stuff all around the treadmill. I'm like, it's a problem. So because he's a contractor and he has tools and supplies and leftover materials and things. So I'm in the middle of one of my sprint intervals, and maybe even like my third or fourth one, right? And I'm in the zone, and I'm running, and I'm doing like minute intervals, and then I will just like walk until my heart rate goes down. And then I'll
sprinting for a minute.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. I know, and I was like, I wasn't dying. It was really nice. Like it was nice. So so all of a sudden, I'm sprinting and something flies at me and knocks me in the shin, right? And somehow, because of my elite athletic ability, I was able to regroup and continue my sprint without falling, without, getting hurt or anything, and shutting the treadmill off, right? And then I'm like, and I sit down and I'm like calming myself down. I look behind me and it was a air fryer, a big, bulky, heavy ass air fryer.
Wait.
That
so
hit
this
me
previously unidentified flying object, which I thought was maybe a ball
Yeah.
or something small
Yeah,
was an
no.
air fryer?
It was an air fryer. So this is the other reason I'm not like a fan of the treadmill running, sprinting, is because in the garage, the ground isn't, there's divots and it's an older treadmill. So it's it could be a combination of both. But when I run really fast, it like vibrates back and forth. So when I was running, it must have been like vibrating. And then behind the treadmill, there was flooring stacked on top of each other and not very high, just like a couple, boxes high. And then the air fryer was on top of that. So it must have, while it was vibrating, rolled off, hit the treadmill, knocked me in my shin. And the funny part was my brain when it was happening, because it was like, danger, danger. And then it was like, are we in an earthquake? Like all these thoughts were going through my head at the time. Like when you're in a crisis, does time slow down? For me, like time slows down and it's like so many thoughts so quickly. That's what was happening. Anyway, I survived. But the thing is that I was already afraid. Like I already don't like to run on it. Now this is going to give me PTSD where I'm like, I was like finally had the courage to do this. And then something knocks me in my shin, and it didn't hurt when it happened because of probably adrenaline. But afterwards I was like, ow, like it did hit me pretty hard.
That's ridiculous. So I thought you were going to get some of your dizzy things.
Yeah.
And you were going to like fall and then like roll around, and it was going to be funny in that way.
Yeah, no.
So
I'm actually very
medium funny.
Yeah, only
chuckle
medium
worthy.
Funny. Because if I did fall,
that would have been a better story.
It wouldn't have.
Well, for you,
be here. Like because,
you would have been okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
That would have been hilarious.
I mean, it was going pretty fast.
Sorry.
So I would have flew off of it and then hit all the other shit behind it. Like there was a bike
That's
back
a good
there.
story.
No.
That would have been hilarious.
And my husband came in and I was like laughing, telling him the story. And I'm like, this is unacceptable. We need to clean up some of this.
I also want to know why you had an air fryer in the garage. Like air fryers are amazing. Why isn't that in your kitchen being used every day?
Because I don't have enough room in my kitchen. We do use it very often.
Yeah.
We do bring it in and out. So it was in a spot that was easily accessible. Easily accessible to hit me in the shin too.
That's pretty funny.
Medium funny. In my head, it was hilarious.
It's mediocre funny.
But
yeah, it would have been more funny if you shoot right off the thing. I want you to be as hurt as you could possibly be without it actually impacting your life, and that's funny.
And I think it's funnier that I'm like, I'm good.
Whatever. Dodge that air fryer.
But this brings me to like how it's crazy when I was running. So I have to say before I say this, this isn't a story about how elite I am, okay? Because I know I suck. Like I know this is just me going from below average to probably average, which if you're anything like me, you can't wake up and just be average. I want to be better than average.
Right.
But how much better like my endurance is and my cardio is. Like I was running and I wasn't even like, it wasn't even hard. It was a little hard, but normally I am dying. Like normally what should be easy, I feel like I'm going to have a heart attack. Like I remember in high school, like it's just kind of comical. It wasn't to me then, but how good I am at some things and how horrible I am at this when it's in the same it's in the same category. Like I could run really fast and for like 30 seconds and then it's like I'm dead after that, I remember like doing the mile in school and people just passing me who were not fit, not athletic, and their looks on their faces as they were going past me like, are you all right? Like
I really thought you were like better at this kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. They expected me to be so much better. And I'm like, I know. It was embarrassing. How often
have you been doing those sprints?
Never. Like, no,
I
I
thought
shouldn't
you
say
were
never.
doing them regularly.
No, I wanted
Wait, so
to.
then how'd you get better at it then?
I don't know. I think it's from weightlifting.
But what are you comparing it to?
Like the last time
Because you've been weightlifting for years.
The last time, because I will do this intermittently, and then every time I do it, I'll get like a fibro flare up, so I don't do it again. This time I didn't get a fibro flare up, and I think the reason why is because I didn't feel like you know that like runner's high you get? Like that's how I felt.
Yeah.
Like it felt really good. It felt like I wasn't doing it as intensely. Like I've done like sprints like in my yard, but I was also doing like once the air fryer hit me, I went back because I was not done yet, and I did like a lower speed but for longer, so I was doing it for like 3 minutes, but it was like more of a quick jog, you know, and just how much better I wasn't dying, and it just it was crazy.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think
That's
it's
awesome.
from weightlifting. Like I don't know if it could be just because I just did a you know, the muscular endurance phase, or I don't know. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's awesome though. That feels good when you can actually see and feel like the difference.
It's kind of like the pull-ups, right? Like it's not like I have anything measurable to say, but I could just tell it feels easier.
You know, you said you texted me that you did 6 in a row and it didn't even feel that hard. That wasn't even your max. Mm-hmm. Was that the same week that the treadmill was?
I don't know. I'll have to look. I'm not really sure.
Because sometimes, I'm not trying to take away from all of your amazing progress, but sometimes I'll have weeks, right, where like I'm just like really strong and able to do so many cool things. And then ones that are the opposite.
It could be because why did I feel like running? You know, I'm not going to normally go on the treadmill because sometimes, because I'm normally a tired person, like I wouldn't get on there and just be like, I feel like running now. But I did. I had that like energy to do that. So it could have been that same week. It might have been. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. But still, that's awesome.
One more topic that this kind of leads into, which is VO2 Max. I don't think we've talked about that on here before, but I kind of want to talk about it. It's something that I want to improve in myself because it is one of the biggest like indicators of longevity. Like having a higher VO2 max is actually the biggest, like in current studies is number 1. So having a higher VO2 max lowers your all-cause mortality more, I should say, than anything else. Like it's
what about
VO2
grip
max.
strength?
That's number 2.
Grip strength is number 2?
Number 2, yep. So you can think that as like strength. So VO2 max 1, strength 2. And then I believe number 3 is lean body mass, like how much muscle mass you have. And this is part of the reason why I believe exercise is more important than nutrition when it comes to health and longevity, because the top 3 you need to exercise, right? To improve your VO2 max, point. You need to exercise, strength, exercise, muscle, nutrition, and exercise. But yeah, I do think both are important, but exercise is definitely important when it comes to your longevity and can make a huge difference. Actually, I have a number here. So moving from the lowest 25%, like the lowest 25 percentile in your VO2 max, so moving from that to just below average lowers your mortality risk by nearly 50%.
Wow.
Yeah, it's huge. So it's
is there a way to like self test your VO2 max?
There
like roughly
is, and I'm going to go over that, but it's not like super accurate. So take it like as an estimate, just to give you a good idea of where you potentially could be, but it's not going to be like it's definitely not the accurate number. It's going to be off a little bit, but there is.
But again, probably like body fat on a scale at home is like if you see change in it over time, you can rely that you know that it's getting better, even if the numbers aren't exact.
Yeah. So exactly. Because just improving it a little bit can add years to your life. So, but yeah, I want to go over what it is, how to improve it, how you can measure it, all that stuff. So your VO2 max is the amount of oxygen your body can use during exercise. So you could think of it as your body's engine. And it measures how efficiently your heart, lungs, and muscles work together to take in oxygen, and delivers that to your muscles for energy. And so like when you're doing intense exercise, it plays a critical role in your body's ability to produce exercise when you're doing that.
Right.
So having a high, like most people think of this when they think of athletes, like having a higher VO2 max is very important if you're an athlete. But like I said, it's important for everybody because it increases your lifespan, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll make you more efficient at exercise. It keeps you younger longer. It's important for metabolic health, which metabolic health is just basically how you can use, carbs, fats, all that for energy, and being able to switch between the two, like being able to switch from glucose to fat. So lowers your risk of like type 2 diabetes and stuff like that. And it's good for cognitive health because you can get more oxygen to your brain.
I have so much regret not testing my VO2 max before I started Taekwondo.
Oh, wait, you could have did that? Oh, okay. You mean like, okay, got you. Yeah.
I actually could have. We have on military bases, they have a health center and they have a bod pod and they have a metabolism. You lay on a thing and you breathe into a mask and they tell you your resting metabolic rate. And they have a VO2 max test. You get on a bike and you wear some things and they legit test your VO2 max. So I could have done that. And I wish I had, because it's free. We can use it for free here. I wish I had. I can do it now. And even this test that you're going to say how to kind of guesstimate, even if I'd have done that, I would like to have known, because 100% it's improved.
I bet you it's better. Yeah. I bet you anything it's improved.
Yeah. Because it's like I'm doing HIIT 3 times a week for sure. My heart rate's going into the 190s.
Yeah. So,
insane.
So like I said, this is just an estimate. It's not going to give you an exact number, but it can give you, like you said, a way to see if you're improving or not. So what you're going to do is you're going to find your max heart rate. Now, if you're like, most people don't know their max heart rate, a way to figure out your max heart rate is to do exercise, like to do something like strenuous for like 3 minutes and then measure it. But a formula is to do 220 minus your age will give you a good estimate. I don't think that's super accurate for me because it gives me 183 and I'm pretty sure my max heart rate is higher than that. I think I can get it higher than that. And like you said, yours is at like 190. Like, so you can probably get yours higher.
Yeah, mine gave me like a 182, but then when I'm doing it's gone up to 196 before. And I'll tell. But that's the other thing is I'm wearing a Fitbit on my wrist. So I've been wanting to get a more accurate heart rate monitor, because maybe one on my chest would, because I'm like, is that accurate? Is it really getting up to 196?
Yeah.
But and then he'll go 200. I'm like, I will literally die. Like, as if that's a goal. Like, I don't have a goal of trying to make this higher. This is plenty high.
When I was on the treadmill and I was doing the sprints, mine went up to like around 165-ish. I just measured it this way. Because my watch said it was like 140 something. So my watch is always
this way. She's putting her fingers on her throat.
Yeah, I forgot.
The pulse.
Yeah, I was measuring by my pulse, and it was like around 165, which according to this would be about 90% of my max heart rate. It did not feel like I was at 90%. I feel like 90% should feel more strenuous than that. So I feel like my max heart rate is probably higher. But anyway, this is a good guess, I guess. So you're going to figure out your max heart rate, and then you're going to figure out your resting heart rate. If you have a watch, it will tell you that. If you don't have a watch, you can measure, you can, take your pulse when you first wake up in the morning, can give you a good, because you don't want to be moving around a lot. It's going to be higher.
And are you essentially seeing how long it takes you to recover between your max and your resting?
No, you're going to divide the two. So you're going to divide.
Because I already know these numbers. So I want to know if I can figure this out right now.
Yeah, definitely. Do it. What's your resting heart rate?
I think it's 65 or 63. Okay. It's really good. And I'm going to call my max 196 because that's literally what it got up to multiple times.
Okay, yeah, definitely. Do it.
So I divide it by 65.
So do 196 divided by 65.
Okay.
and then times it by 15.3.
15.3.
15.3.
Okay.
What's that?
What's a good number? You tell me first.
No,
What
you
should
tell
it
me,
be?
and I'm going to go to
No.
the chart after.
Tell me the chart.
No, you tell me what your number is.
No, tell me the chart.
It's good. Your number is good. It is. I already know.
It's 46.
Perfect.
0.13.
Okay. That's great. Okay.
How good is it on the chart?
It's better than mine. We're just going to say that. But that's because you have a higher max heart rate. If I actually knew my max heart rate, it would probably be just as good as yours. All right. So so this is another thing that's crazy.
False.
my watch, I've had the same watch since 2022. So it's using the same watch. So it's not like I used a different watch and that's why my numbers are different, right? And so I can see my history of my resting heart rate. And in 2022, my resting heart rate was like 68 to 70 it ranged, right? Mm-hmm. And through the years, it has dropped like gradually every year. Like it'll go up and down, but it has like a downward trend. So right now it's like 61 to 62.
Nice.
Yeah. Another thing, like I don't even train for it. It's just because I'm so elite. My body is just elite.
That's what it is.
For somebody who sucks at cardio. So mine is 45.16 when I figure it out. All right. So now let's go to the chart, which I don't know if we can. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm looking for my phone because I want to look up my actual resting heart rate. I think it's lower than 65.
Oh, okay. You want to beat me, don't you?
Oh my God, so badly. All right, go ahead.
Okay. So, all right. This is a chart. I don't know if they're all the same, but this one's from Peter Attia. And okay, so I'm not going to go through all of these numbers. And I don't know if we can link this, or maybe people can look this up actually pretty easily. So you can just search this online. So I'll do, do you want to just do 30 to 39, like age wise, or and then 40 to 49, or do you want to do like a whole bunch of them?
No, just those two, because I'm not in that category anymore.
You just care about yourself. You're so okay. You don't care about
just
the
tell
listeners?
me about me.
Okay.
I would bet that a very large majority of the people listening are between 30 and 49.
Okay. So
and those are the two you're covering. And if there's more, it would be from the 50 to 59 category.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm 37. So I'm in the 30 to 39. So I'm just going to go average, high. So it goes low, below average, above average, high, and elite. I'm just going to do above average, high, and elite because that's where you want to be. So so between 30 and 39, above average is 34 to 38. High is 39 to 48. So that's where I fall.
That's high?
That's high.
Like elite, a high VO2 max or whatever?
That's high. So that's very good. Elite is 49 or above.
Oh, I got to get that number higher.
Now, I don't know. Mine might be higher if my max heart rate is higher, but I don't know. So I would have to get my resting heart rate down a couple more beats to be in that like elite category. Okay, now your turn. 40 to 49. Above average is 32 to 36. High is 37 to 46.
This is in the 40 to 49 age range.
Yeah.
High
elite is 37 to 46 because you're older. You have lower standards than I do.
Ooh, turning 40 had benefits.
Yeah.
It made me elite in VO2 max.
Very close. If your resting heart rate's a little lower than you said.
Actually, it is because my thing is telling me it's like 61.
61? Well, then you're definitely elite.
Bro.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that means you're going to live a long time.
Oh my God, I'm going to live so long.
You really are elite. Like, you can actually brag about this one because you legitimately are elite. All right, let me...
However, I feel like It's interesting, though, because knowing your max heart rate is a hard thing to figure out.
Mm-hmm.
And you can go by the formula, but that's not going to work.
Yeah.
So you have to actually push yourself to get there.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you that in Taekwondo, I have had the thought many times that I would never push myself to the level that he pushed. When I think I'm done and I'm like, I literally can't do anymore, he goes, 10 kicks. And they have to be like the most powerful 10 kicks ever, or he makes me redo them.
Yeah.
And I literally feel like my friend Ross will often just collapse on the ground because he can't stand up anymore when he's done. I would not push myself to that level without somebody else pushing me to it.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what they do in the thing. So I feel like in a privileged position to know how high I can actually push it.
Yeah, it's true.
So that's interesting to me because like, how are you really supposed to figure that out?
Yeah, it would probably be best to do it under supervision of somebody. Yeah. So you don't
or
have
like
a heart attack.
if I knew I was really testing, I could probably do legit full out sprints.
I think it would probably be like, you could do it on the treadmill, but for me, I can't do it on there. Maybe like an assault bike or like, something like that might be the best way to test it.
Yeah.
Because it's
less. That's interesting.
You can't really get hurt as easily.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
but,
flying air fryers
no
less likely maybe on an assault bike.
No earthquakes happening. I just want to read the next category for people if they're listening. So above average for 50 to 59 is 29 to 35. High is 36 to 45, and 46 or above is elite.
Cool.
So yeah, that's VO2 max.
Elite, bro.
Yeah. Oh, I have a chart.
I can't breathe. The air's so thin up on Mount Elite.
I have a chart on resting heart rate too for elite, average, all that stuff too. So
what is it for me?
36 to 45. So we're actually in the same one according to this chart. An athlete is 50 to 56. Excellent is 57 to 62. That's where we are. We are excellent.
Well, maybe mine's better than 61. I should probably.
Great is 63 to 66, and good is 67 to 70. It's really funny that mine went from 70 to 61, 62.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, I would like to get it lower. I want to see what I can do. Let's see.
Yeah, now I'm like,
yeah, I like this is the funny thing about like, I don't know if it's getting older or just because, and I haven't even been training that long, but just maybe because I hit so many goals so quickly because I'm so good, that that I can try to aim for new things, now I did this already. I've defeated that. Now I need to go on to this thing,
Well, the reality is like, I can't spend time with people who don't have those same ambitions, like people who are just like average.
Right?
I don't know what it's like to wake up and choose that mundane, right? So for me, this is normal. Like, yeah, of course I'm going to get better.
How do you wake up and just choose to be average? How can
I don't
you be
know.
okay with that? Like,
I don't know how people can live with themselves. Like, it's really a shame that we basically took evolution out of the human experience because these people wouldn't survive.
How can you be like, I'm fucking good? Like, why?
Whatever. At least we don't have to mingle with these commoners.
With these peons.
Go so work on our VO2 max. Yeah. And I'll beat you. So it'll be great.
You are. I mean, this is one thing that I will say that I already know I suck at that. So, you're good.
That's what you said about pull-ups. And I got a text from you the other day that was like, I'm coming for you.
No.
So
no,
I have a feeling you won't give me anything.
I said that you were better than me. I admit that you're better than me now.
You said, I'll give it to you. I'll give you that one. So are you saying right now that you're not going to give me this for now? You're saying you give it to me for life?
Still be better than me even when I train for it because I don't think it's
so live on air, are you officially saying you're going to give me cardiovascular eliteness for life?
Life is a long time.
You're handing it over.
Life is a long time. I don't know.
Well, otherwise it's the same. Yeah, I'm going to get a text from you in 2 weeks being like, I'm coming for you. Like, taking you down. So I just need to know, like, is this official? Are you not ready to commit to that?
You know what? I'm not ready to,
commit.
Better
walk that shit back.
Maybe Maybe I start training and I'm like, you know what?
Look at
Better
that.
than I thought I was.
Unless you get all dizzy and start falling and have air flyers just coming out of the woodwork.
That's true. But I
All right.
yeah. Okay. I'm done.
Huh?
I'm
Okay.
done. Done.
Good pod. VO2 Max. I'm excited. I feel good.
Yeah.
All right. If you like this, please leave a 5-star review. We would appreciate it so much, with words, with an explanation about why you think we're just so elite and this podcast is the most elite podcast you've ever heard. We'd really appreciate that. And we will see you next week.
Bye.